This poor guy impersonated a famous director, spent tens of millions making a fake movie, all just to meet the leading lady's stand-in. After Mary left, George was devastated. He accidentally wandered into the office of renowned director Carl. George was Carl's biggest fan and knew all his movies by heart. When George struck up a conversation with the secretary, he discovered that nobody here had actually met Carl. They'd only heard he was a young man. George had a brilliant idea and hinted that he was Carl himself. The secretary jumped to her feet excitedly, saying, "So you're director Carl." Sitting at Carl's desk, George was shocked to find that Carl's ID card had no photo attached. Looking at Carl's name, George hatched a crazy plan. He found the secretary and had her spread the word that he was preparing to film Cleopatra, claiming a budget of over $10 million. This news sent shockwaves through everyone. Everybody wanted to join George's team. Just like that, George assembled a production crew and quickly caught the attention of investors. The investors were very interested in the project. The producer asked George when they could see the script. George panicked because he had no idea how to write one. Just to see Mary, George forced himself to start writing. He couldn't even use a typewriter, so with the secretary's help, he managed to produce a script. When the producer got his hands on it, he couldn't believe it came from Carl's pen. He said angrily that it was the worst script he'd ever seen. Meanwhile, George had already sent the script to the female star, telling her he wanted to invite her to play Cleopatra. The actress was over the moon and had Mary read the script to her. Mary had barely read the first line when the star told her to stop and only read scenes featuring herself. Soon the actress excitedly called the investor. The investor was about to say the script was garbage when he heard the actress gush that it was the best script she'd ever read. The investor was stunned. It turned out that to attract the female star, George had filled the script with close-up shots of the leading lady, which made her very happy. She headed straight to the set with Mary. At the film set, George walked toward the director's chair in his sharp suit. Everyone treated George like a god. The cinematographer respectfully approached and asked George what kind of shots he wanted. George had no clue, so he casually told the cinematographer to decide for himself. The costume department brought outfits for George to choose from, and he even let them make their own choices. George was incredibly nervous. Only he knew that he'd spent tens of millions supporting a lie just to see Mary once. Finally, Mary appeared on set, amazed to discover that George was actually a famous director. George held the script notes, standing aside with feigned depth. Mary danced gracefully under the lights, captivating everyone with her performance. But the male lead couldn't stand it anymore and walked off. He lashed out at George, saying the dancing was meaningless and could easily be replaced with close-ups. "I don't understand why you insist on filming dance scenes," he said. The female star expressed her confusion, saying the script originally consisted entirely of close-ups, so why were there suddenly so many dance sequences? The voices of opposition grew louder, and the situation spiraled out of control.